Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for #Limitless, celebrating volunteerism 2021. My name is Praniti Kaladindi, and I'm your National Volunteer Coordinator. And before we get started today, I want to introduce to you guys our stellar youth team that put this event together. You'll be hearing from them throughout the rest of this presentation, but here's a quick introduction. So let's get started with Anushka Sharma from Seattle, Vaishu Mareddy from Austin, Sanjana Velanki from New Jersey. Broken boundaries and made 2021 our biggest year yet. You guys proved that even a global pandemic couldn't stop you from your fire to serve our community and make an impact. Actually, before we get the event started, hey Shreyas, didn't you have a fun activity for all of us to do?
For about a year now. I have not only gotten to partake in a team leader in the Lend Your Voice initiative, I've learned about the experience, I've learned about the value of serving others, and I will have a short work cloud activity to get to know each other a little bit more. The only challenge, however, is that your answers only need to be one word long. I know that's pretty tough, but let's see if we're able to do it. If everyone can please go to this link or scan the QR code and type in the code, and we will get started in just a few minutes. So once you join, if you could please give me a thumbs up, then we can get started. Okay. Excellent. And for those who are joining from a mobile, you can just type in this website name in your browser, and there will be an option where you can go in and type this code, and it should take you right to the game. Okay, looks like we have quite a lot of people who have joined. I'm going to give everybody a few more seconds just so that you can get situated. All right then, we'll type in the responses and you just have to hit submit, and all your responses are going to gather here in the form of a word cloud where I'll be able to see it.
Shreyas, I think it's locked for responses.
Okay, I am sorry about that, everyone. I am going to. Okay, now I think it should be fixed. Everyone should be able to type in the response and start. Okay, looks like, quite a lot of variety here. Okay, we have one from Dallas, Seattle, Austin, Dallas. Do we have anyone else from Dallas? Okay, Washington, Columbus, San Diego. That's nice to see. North Carolina. Interesting. Okay, we have a couple from Katy, a couple from Seattle. We have one from Washington, Atlanta. There's Carrie. Nice. We have one person from Michigan, one person from Boston, one person from San Jose. To the next question. Well, okay, I see. Okay, I think I just saw somebody say Mars, but okay, I think that was an accident. So, okay, Austin. Okay, oh, Canada. Okay, that's interesting. So Charlotte. Okay, Michigan. One more from Michigan. Oh, we have someone from India also joining us here today. Nice to see that. So quite a mix here. Quite a mix. Okay. With that being said, we're going to move on to our next question. Your next question is, first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word volunteerism. So I just wanted to throw something a little bit more challenging at you guys, because I said it was just going to be one word. Okay, we have someone said limitless. Yes, I definitely think about the word limitless when it comes to volunteering. I mean, after all, we as volunteers were limitless in 2021, especially with all the things that we have. Selfless, service, giving back. Well, pretty much what I was taught. Helping, service. Yes, I guess that's the whole purpose of VT Seva. We provide service to others in need. Yes. Okay. Changing the world. Yep. Really like that thought. It's a really good thing with lives through whatever events we conducted. Okay. Happiness, yes. Accountability. I mean, obviously, I was definitely happy. I was definitely happy starting with BT Seva last year. I think it made me feel pretty proud just getting involved in all sorts of events. So, okay, looks like we're still getting more responses in. We're gonna wait for a couple more seconds. Just give some people more time to get their thoughts in. Okay. I'm actually losing track of all these responses because there's so many really, really good ones coming in. Okay, cool. Okay, I like that. I like that. So there's some sort of deviation. Oh, and I think I just saw my name in there. Did somebody just put my name in there? Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what to say to that. Okay. Okay, compassion, deference, yes. Service without borders, yes. Excellent, excellent. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next one. And this is gonna be your last question. Okay, let's try making this our most popular one yet. In one word, how was your experience volunteering with BT Seva in 2021? I think personally for me, it was, I think, it was pretty fun then. I think it was kind of overwhelming getting involved in such a big project right away, but I think it did teach me quite a lot of interesting things, and I personally had a lot of fun. Okay, satisfactory, remarkable, powerful, yes, inspiring. So a lot of similarities over here. A lot of similarities over here. That's pretty nice to see. Inspiring, rewarding, yes. Cool and exciting, novel and inspiring. Sad, no excuse. Okay, yes. Exciting, limitless. Okay, not someone said limitless here. That's nice to see. Blissful, perseverance, and somebody said I wasn't there. Well, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but I mean, hopefully you got to take part in a lot of events. Okay, rewarding, remarkable. Just do it. Yes, I like how you're thinking about that. Just do it. Yep, I personally also feel the same. Okay, with that being said, that is going to be the end of it for this workout activity. Thank you all to those who participated. As Pranati shared, the purpose of this event was to give all the volunteers an opportunity to reflect upon their experiences with BT Seva in 2021, and also learn and inspire each other how our volunteering has made a positive impact on our communities. In the year 2021, our volunteers have put in over 35,000 hours, hosting almost 217 plus events, despite the fact that the pandemic was wreaking a havoc, and most of the world was on a virtual realm. I know, in the real world, we would have had an applauding audience, but here, you can respond by clicking the reaction button. Come on, come on, come on. Let's see some of those emojis and reactions in the chat. Can I see something? Okay. We have some celebration emotes. Nice, nice. Excellent. Good to see some bit of a variety there. Okay.
It's great to see all this. Shreyas, as you said, volunteerism is to be celebrated, and our volunteers are the reason for the success of BT Seva. We don't nearly have the words to describe the impact our volunteers have constructed with their hard work. However, some great mind once said, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." We asked your volunteers to share a visual and a background story about how they were #limitless with BT Seva in 2021. We have prepared a presentation we received were not only mind-blowing because of how they were connected to the theme, but also because the visuals that accompanied them helped convey the message 1,000 times better. We present to you #limitless. Thank you so much to all our be displayed on our website, so make sure to check those out for a more in-depth perspective. I'd like to now hand it back to Pranati, who will be introducing our first guest speaker this evening.
Our volunteers truly are the organization, Mr. Kiran Mangala, to share a couple words about. Yep.
Cool. Hey, welcome everyone. It's so inspiring, like to see those pictures and the stories around, like what they feel about VT Seva. It's so inspiring, like to be part of this organization. And thank you everyone for making it to one of the most important annual event for VT Seva, an event where what I felt was celebrate two things. One is our strongest muscle and our strongest value driver. Now, our strongest muscle is our youth. That is the entire VT Seva vision is all about. Mission is all about like empowering the youth. And our strongest value pillar is empathy. Now, when you combine these two, the result is a beautiful world and a beautiful life. And I would like to start off with a reflection on an observation that most of you might have gone through during one of your shopping experiences. Now, think of a woman at a grocery store, navigating shopping with three of her kids, like who were probably under the age of 5. Now, seemingly doing nothing to control their lively behavior, being kids as kids. Now, so easy for us to judge, bad parent, and so many other things, right? Yet an empathetic view might yield overwhelmed or overtired, or trying to hold the empathy that it plays. Now, think of another situation, like think of an elderly man, shuffling through his cane and taking up so much time at the checkout, counting change instead of like swiping his credit card. The normal emotional lacking view would be like hey, get going, old man, move it quick, or like do it fast. But on the other side, the empathetic view would be here he's trying to do his best to navigate life without falling body, or like maybe even without someone who can assist him during his old age, or like who was used to do all the shopping for him, isn't by his side. For many of us here, right, like we shift from the previous meetings, but empathy is not saying nice things, to non-judgmentally put into words your understanding of another person's perspective, even if it is opposite of yours. Now a stance of like two different opinions shifts to a maybe of a collaborative stance of let's try to find out how we both can resolve this. Now if you shift this into real world, isn't that like what we are expecting to see this in this world, and especially like during this time frame? Now isn't it time for our leaders in every walk of life to put empathy into every decision they make? The leaders doesn't have to be maybe a president of the country, or like they could be as small as like manager of a store, or even a police officer, or a student coordinator, or even everyone. As a matter of fact, we are all leaders in one way or the other. Now imagine a world where empathy is not seen as a credit, but like seen as a basic requirement for a human behavior. Our role here at BT Seva is to be that change agent. Our role is to imbibe that empathy, to teach that empathy not only through words but also more in action. In our role of molding ourselves, and also all these thousands of youth who've been putting 35,000 hours of in a year is not a joke. Our youth of tomorrow, by serving the communities, may just be a small attempt, but we are hoping that like this torch of empathy that is being lit in the minds and also the hearts of all these young people is going to be maybe limitless for the future to come. Now I really appreciate all the work that like all you youth have put together, and a high five to all these torch bearers of empathy, or the trailblazers of compassionate leadership, upholding VT Seva's values, VT Seva's mission, all started by our our lead, just the youth over here, all the branch directors, all the youth leaders, everyone who's trying to inspire these young children to bring up this empathy in their hearts and minds. Hats off to everyone. Hats off to every effort that you're trying to do in shape.
My name is Rohita and I'm a volunteer from the Cary branch. My experience with VT Seva so far has been amazing. As I grew up from a little kid to a young adult, my opportunities with VT Seva Cary grew as well, and I'm more than proud of every achievement we've made. I've been associated with VT Seva since I can remember, and I've been on the youth board for the past 3 years, and it's not only taught me how to give back to my community, but it's also helped me shape myself as a person. And with that being said, let's dive into our event. To start off, does anyone know what the 4 pillars are? Everyone that's been supporting VT Seva knows our 4 famous pillars. And for those that are new here, no worries. We would love to get you up to speed. We at VT Seva serve in 4 major areas: education, healthcare, environment protection, and disaster relief. And we'll go more into detail about each of these pillars, but we understand that the primary ingredient for our volunteering is our passion to serve. To involve and nurture volunteerism from a very young age, youth are engaged and empowered to lead projects and community service. And we'll walk you through how we at VT Seva come together to conduct 217 plus events in 2021 under these 4 pillars. We have a short video of our accomplishments in 2021 that we'd love for you to watch.
The efforts of each of our volunteers are priceless, and the reason VT Seva has been able to accomplish so much last year.
Over the past 2 years, we have collectively volunteered for 35,000 more hours.
Despite all the hardships of the past 2 years, VT Seva has greatly increased the amount of good it does for the community.
We have also seen amazing growth in the number of high-achieving volunteers across our branches.
VT Seva has continued to increase our
and the barriers we've broken. Together, we've proved that we truly are limitless.
Now guys, that was just a glimpse at everything that we've accomplished. But before we go into our education capsule, I'd like to invite Mr. Funny Aduri, one of our national youth directors.
Yep, thank you, Rohita. Can you hear me?
Yep, all good.
Okay, thank you so much. It's really amazing to see all those numbers and the effort that went behind those numbers, right? We need to look at the amount of time, effort the youth have spent to accomplish those numbers besides the challenges that we all faced in 2021. I'd like to start with a quote by Donald Gale. I quote, a pessimist, they say, sees a glass of water as being half empty, right? And an optimist sees the same glass as half full. But just like Kiranji has mentioned earlier, taking the empathetic view, a giving person sees the same glass of water and starts looking for someone who might be thirsty and how to serve them. So this is what the youth of VT Seva represent. Putting love, empathy, compassion, and service into action and to make a difference. And we are all here today to recognize it's all about you, right? The youth, your success, your accomplishments, and your contributions in making this world a better place in your own way. Continued and selfless service. Generosity and compassion to uplift the lives of the less fortunate, and most of them tomorrow. Change the world. Change the world through your action. Change and create a compassionate world, not just only for you, but for generations to come. Realize that you have the power to make a difference and be that force that transforms the world. Remember that volunteerism is not just about how much you can give it to others. So as Albert Einstein once said, only a life lived for others. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Funny G, for those very inspiring words. Hello, everybody. My name is Vaishnavi Moretti, and I'm proud to be representing the Austin chapter here today. I've been volunteering with VT Seva for around 6 years now, and VT Seva has provided me a platform to contribute to my community by collaborating with local organizations. And through the organization VT Seva, I've learned the importance of generosity and selflessness in the pursuit of helping others. So I feel extremely proud to be part of such an empowering organization. Now, to segue off of the education excellent project that VT Seva has collaborated on to provide visually challenged and DAISY Forum of India and NIE PVD, that's the National Institute for Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disabilities. Children around the world are deprived of this very right due to a lack of accessibility. That's why, through this particular program, 400 of our amazing youth volunteers throughout the United States participated to convert textbooks into an accessible digital format based assistive devices. And over the past couple of months, these youth volunteers were able to convert more than 75 books into accessible format. That's incredible. The ebooks will be part of Sugamya Pustakalaya. That's India's first and largest online library for the blind. With more than 20,000 ebooks available in 17 languages, I can confidently say that this is a monumental move and something one of a kind that VT Seva youth volunteers have accomplished this year. And this is just one of many amazing education-based initiatives that VT Seva volunteers have been backing, supporting and making education more accessible for thousands of people. Now, at this time, I'd like to invite Shreyas to share more about our contributions in the healthcare pillar.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. 2021 was a monumental year in terms of healthcare-related activities that we conducted. Despite the challenges of volunteering in person during the pandemic, VT Seva volunteers successfully completed several initiatives, such as hosting health-related webinars, CPR workshops, mental and physical wellness programs, cancer walkathons/blood drives, and most importantly, frontline worker appreciation events. During a time when staying active was quite challenging, VT Seva volunteers made it possible for people to learn more about what they can do to uplift the quality of living. Along the lines of supporting people with cancer, we were not only able to provide hope to them, but also raise funds to support their hospital stay as well as their treatment, inspiring messages for those cancer patients to put a smile on their faces. All the kits packed were then donated to a nonprofit organization called Pink List that aims to support families affected by breast cancer, as well as raise more awareness about the issue. These care packages were then sent over to Carmenas Cancer Institute to send, where the volunteers created and handed greeting cards appreciating the doctors and medical staff for their services. During Valentine's Day, youth volunteers of VT Seva led an initiative called Hearts for Heroes, in which they share their love and gratitude for their service. And they also created a poster filled with personalized messages for them. Overall, we were able to create a tremendous impact, not only on our local community through various informational and fundraising activities, but we also made sure to stay in touch with frontline workers, without whom we couldn't have gotten through 2021. Hey, Sanjana, do you think you could explain what progress VT Seva made under the disaster relief pillar in 2021?
Yes, of course, Shreyas. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Sanjana Valanki, and I'm from the New Jersey chapter of VT Seva. And my family has been heavily involved with VT Seva for, I want to say, about 10 years now. In many ways, it's become a second home to me. It's provided me numerous opportunities to help communities in need and also grow as an individual. In fact, a lot of these self-reflecting and impactful experiences that I had occurred over the pandemic. So over the past 2 years, COVID-19 has played an enormous role in reshaping the lives of tens of thousands of individuals. We have all collectively faced challenges during these difficult times, whether it was just adjusting to online environments, learning, work, or not being able to see family abroad due to travel restrictions. In many ways, COVID-19 gave us many obstacles, but it also brought out the community within us and provided us the opportunity to give back to those in need. VT Seva branches across the United States have come together to extend our support during these uncertain times. Collectively, VT Seva has so far donated over $100,000 for disaster relief during COVID-19, just within these 2 years towards different food banks across the United States. 17,000 plus N95 masks and 10,000 homemade masks were donated to US medical staff and frontline workers at various hospitals. Back in India, 30,000 plus meals were provided to daily wage workers who were stranded due to the COVID-19 lockdown. Meals were provided to children of low-income families via donations of 32 different food banks in 22 cities across the US. Up on the screen, you can take a look at the various beneficiaries of our organization's efforts this year. But none of these massive changes and contributions could have been accomplished without the work of our individual chapters and their amazing, limitless volunteers. So I invite you to learn more about our disaster relief activities by visiting our vtsworld.org website and to appreciate the efforts VT Seva volunteers and their chapters have put into helping their surrounding community. Now, time for some fun. I know that was a lot of information and numbers, but hopefully you've been paying attention, grasping the numbers. So time for some Zoom polls. Vaishnavi, take it away.
All right, thanks, Sanjana. Next up is a fun Zoom poll to see if you guys have been following along. So let's get started. First question. How many N95 masks have been donated to various medical staff in the US through the money raised for COVID relief activities? We have four options: 25,000, 5,000, 100,000, or 17,000. Go ahead and put in your responses into the Zoom poll, and we'll see who's got the answer correct.
Okay, we see reactions. Awesome. So the question again, how many N95 masks have been donated to various medical staff in the US through the money raised for COVID relief activities? Note N95 masks. So your options are 25,000, 5,000, 100,000, or 17,000. We'll keep it open for another minute or two and let's see who gets the right answer. And then for extra credit, if anyone wants to put in the chat how many handmade masks were made, you can do that too. Nice. All right, Shreyas, go ahead and close the poll. Let's see what the correct answer is.
Okay, 17,000 N95 masks. Congratulations to those of y'all that selected that answer. You're correct. Moving on to the next one. All right, so thank you for participating in our Zoom poll. Now, as we move on to our next pillar, we'd first like to share a message from Corey Jackson, the CEO of Laurel Heights Hospital in Atlanta, one of our beneficiaries. Now, Laurel Heights Hospital is a pediatric behavioral health facility in Atlanta, Georgia, that serves children and adolescents who face complex psychiatric, behavioral, and neurodevelopmental disorders. Corey Jackson has led the team at Laurel Heights since 2019. He and Laurel Heights Hospital have been extremely appreciative and very supportive to our VT Seva youth volunteers.
Hello, I'm Corey Jackson, CEO of Laurel Heights Hospital. On behalf of the hospital, protect our staff and our patients from COVID-19. Our relationship began in 2020 at the height of the pandemic. Since that time, your commitment to provide community service through mask making has been right on time. I look forward to our continued partnership as well as celebrating your service accomplishments. Continue to be great, lead through service, and be the change you want to see. Thank you.
Very moving words indeed. Next up, Anushka, can you speak a bit more about our environmental protection pillar?
Sport leader, I've had the amazing opportunity to volunteer alongside a diverse and passionate group of people. VT Seva has not only given me a platform to be a catalyst for change, but also taught me so many valuable life lessons. Today, I'm so excited to be here with everyone to celebrate the spirit of volunteerism and to represent all my fellow volunteers in Seattle. Well, moving on to the environmental pillar, A famous author once said that the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. And during 2021, VT Seva volunteers embraced being leaders of change to help bring awareness about environmental sustainability. Together, we have participated in more than 55 activities that contribute towards an environmentally conscious planet. Our volunteers didn't let the pandemic stop us from taking part in cleanup activities in parks, creeks, beaches, streets, highways, and temples. For example, many of our branches participated in an Adopt a Row cleanups, and other branches partner with local organizations like Milpitas cleanup activities. Together, we have participated in numerous Earth Day activities like composting, tree planting, and annual Earth Day science fairs as well. However, our biggest accomplishment was the Seedlings Project that was done nationwide. Youth volunteers from various branches participated in this Seedlings Project, and it was an amazing opportunity to learn about plant basics, gardening, and in turn, helping educate a child. We thank all our wonderful volunteers who worked so hard to make this project a very successful one to help our Nether Vidyalaya children by providing them good education and welfare. We are so looking forward to keeping this as our ongoing project in the upcoming years as well. Hey Naimisha, have you seen the Go Green YouTube videos? They're so informative and engaging to watch, right?
I actually have, Anushka. Good evening, everyone. I'm Naimisha Kadali from Atlanta. I've been a part of VT Seva for around 5 years as an active youth volunteer, and I have been affiliated with it in general for as long as I can remember. I've learned more about the service spirit and the dedication one must work with in order to serve their community through this organization more than anything else. And it's been a blessing to work with so many different volunteers from all backgrounds and circumstances. VT Seva has somehow just grounded me into this world and taught me how to sprout my wings in a way that instigates true change. It is an honor to be representing my fellow Atlanta youth volunteers this evening. Continuing on to the environmental protection pillar, one specific project that we would like to highlight from last year is the Go Green initiative, which is led by 2 youth volunteers, Ovia Raja and Laya Dilip. These 2 volunteers released a new video each using one's environmental footprint. In Ovia's words, we all have a common goal of preserving the world that the next generations will live in. And there are a limitless amount of ways to do that, but it's up to us to find the right ones. Environmental protection holds a special place in our VT Seva values, and the diligence with which our youth volunteers, such as Ovia and Laya, have upheld this principle is outstanding. Anushka and I have given you a glimpse into the environmental initiatives VT Seva is forthcoming 2021. So why don't we test how well you all were listening? It's time for another Zoom poll. Great. All right, the Zoom poll should be open. How many environmental protection activities did VT Seva branches do in 2021? So the options are 45, 30, 55, and 50. All right, so we see a lot of people leaning between 45 and 55.
Another bonus credit question. If you want to put in the chat any environmental activities you participated in from your local chapters, that would be amazing.
Atlanta, for example, had the April Cool project, which I loved. I know in the comments, some people are talking about composting, the park cleanup, food drives, Earth Day cleanups, adopt a highway, seedling, sow a seed, educate a child. That was actually a very big one across the nation. Food drives, seedling, composting tutorials, the potting event at Red Bud Park, Earth Day infographics, sow a street cleaning, seedlings. Yep, all of these were amazing events that VT Seva incorporated into the environmental pillar. So if everyone is done choosing their answer, let's end the poll so we can see what the right answer is. And the correct answer is 55 events. So awesome job to everyone who got this right, and awesome job to everyone who participated. We love to see this participation, and we have so much more fun in store for you guys. So, Harish, the environmental pillar leans on another core pillar that we have that serves as the foundation for the VT Seva service spirit. Is that correct?
That's right. Hello, my name is Harish J. Sunker, and I'm a youth board volunteer in the Detroit branch. I've been with VT Seva for 6 years, and I've learned a lot about volunteering over these last years. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, our lives were turned upside down. Plans were canceled, and for the first time, we were all stuck at home. However, there's a group of people who played a vital role in helping us get through the pandemic that often goes unrecognized. The people who kept delivering our mail, bagging our groceries, and taking out our trash managed to keep our communities functioning despite the pandemic. Last year, branches across the country worked together to thank their local essential workers with gifts to brighten their days. Another huge effect of the pandemic is the growing hunger crisis. Last year, 12.1% of the US population was food insecure, an increase from 10.6% in 2020. The pandemic caused an immediate need for more food in the US, and VT Seva immediately leapt at the chance to help. In 2021, in addition to COVID relief aid and providing over 100,000 meals, volunteers across the US participated in over 26 food packing events. Partnering with our local food banks, VT Seva chapters help their communities overcome the growing hunger crisis. Now to Anushka to talk about more of the various drives that VT Seva has done.
Thanks, Harish. To add on to what Harish has already mentioned, VT Seva has spent a significant portion of 2021 running various drives, including food drives. Other drives included an eyeglass drive, grocery bag drive, clothes drives, and candy drives. As Harish mentioned before, the food drives support food banks in our branches, communities that are actively combating the growing hunger crisis in our country. Moving on to the next segment, I would like to introduce you to our next guest, Dawn Dixon. Dawn is a volunteer coordinator for FS Series, which is an event production and electronic chip timing company based in North Carolina. They organize events for many charity organizations, and since 2019, Dawn has supported our VT Seva Carry volunteers and has also encouraged our youth volunteers to continue their efforts after each visit. She is also a consistent donor for our Nether Vidyalaya students. Please give your attention to a steadfast VT Seva supporter, Dawn Dixon.
Hello, my name is Dawn Dixon. I work for a company called FS Series. We're a race production company that puts on running races of 5Ks, 10Ks, half and full marathons, as well as we put on duathlons and triathlons. A huge part of our race production and preparation is the need of volunteers to help us out on race days. As a company, we support a lot of charities, so it makes us appreciate our volunteers even more. I've been fortunate to work with VT Seva over the past several years at several of our races, and I have enjoyed watching the teams grow from year to year. I've watched several of the teams come back as in a leadership role within their organization. They arrive at our races and they just take lead and get their fellow teens into spots where they need to do and get them doing what they need to be doing on race day. I also enjoy watching their enthusiasm as they come to our races, support our athletes, cheer them on, and do what they love doing. It's rewarding just to see these youngsters being involved in volunteer work and expecting nothing back of it. And I just find today it's so important to teach the youth of today to give back to society willingly, without any expectation of receiving any compensation towards it. And over the years, I have seen all the teens from VT Seva do that. They diligently arrive at our races, they diligently are put in spots where they need to be, and they quite joyfully do all the jobs that they're set and the tasks they're set to do. So I really look forward to working with VT Seva over the next several years and continue this relationship. I enjoy watching the teens as they start off when they're younger and as they get to the age of where they graduate high school, and all the things they've learnt from doing volunteering, they can take that with them throughout their life. And I appreciate you letting me come on to speak to the teens, and I wish them a good year this year, and I look forward to working with them.
Wow, it's so inspiring to hear about our fellow volunteers. Hey, Sanjana, do you have anything else to share about for the community service pillar?
Of course, doesn't stop there. So during the pandemic, one of the main challenges was to provide the opportunity to youth by meeting their social needs and providing interaction with peers because of the lockdown. So to meet this need, VT Seva conducted several educational seminars, including career exploration opportunities. VT Seva connected students with people who have experience in various different career fields and people who could speak about their journey, providing advice to these youth. Youth volunteers also took the responsibility to help the high school community by hosting a range of online webinars for college, ranging from discussing college applications, college essay writing, and other boot camps for higher education and career development. Speaking of volunteering for different communities, our volunteers have religiously volunteered at senior citizen centers throughout the years. One of the most precious things we can appreciate is someone thinking about us or taking the time to check in on us. For the elderly who are sometimes confined within four walls, especially during COVID, seeing a volunteer or an affectionate card does bring a smile on their face. As the saying goes, elevating the human spirit means that it gives people a purpose to keep living their lives. We were able to do just centers. Volunteers also took part in making holiday cards for them. Overall, there were over 15 different chapter events dedicated to helping the senior citizen community. Overall, across the USA, all you amazing volunteers have conducted 114 community service events, such as upkeep of community centers, supporting local community events, spreading gratitude and joy through appreciation lunches for frontline workers, etc. There are several branches across the USA, and we invite you to connect with your local branches or our national team to find out more information as to how you can join us. Go click on the link in the chat to sign up today. Now, I'm going to pass this on to Pranati for the next activity.
I mean, before we do that, can we get another round of applause for 114 events? I mean, you can't even tell that there was a pandemic looking at those numbers. That's amazing, you guys. Thank you so much for the time and the dedication you put for the organization. So moving on, we have another special project we want to share with you guys. It's called Art Without Barriers. This project is unique. It's a unique initiative and a platform for specially abled musicians to showcase their skills and make a living from their talents. As a part of this initiative, students, both kids and adults from the US, are learning Carnatic and light music from highly talented musicians from India. The project was started in 2021 with Sri Parameswar Rao, who we see here on the screen. Parameswar Rao studied at Netra Vidyalaya. He is a highly talented and gifted singer and composer who has given various musical performances both in India and across the world. For those of you that are interested in watching Indian television, he's the title winner of numerous popular singing competitions like ETV Partatiyaga, Gemini TV Bol Baby Bol, ETV Black Program, and Ma TV Rela Rela. This is just one example of the truly inspirational work and our organization has done over the past year. So we have another Zoom poll for you guys. The question is, who did VT Seva volunteers thank during the Essential Workers Project? So Harish talked about this earlier. Give us a reaction if you can see the Zoom poll open. Keep in mind, this isn't a select all that apply. So select all the options. Your options are frontline workers, first responders, delivery workers, and garbage collectors. So who did VT Seva volunteers thank during the Essential Workers Project?
It's great to see all these numbers going up. The participation today is really great, you guys.
It is. It's fantastic. Thank you for taking time out of your Sunday evening to join us today. All right, we'll give it a couple more seconds. Naimisha, what are the numbers looking like? Are people leaning towards the right answers?
Yes, they are. A lot of people are leaning towards frontline workers. I consider these answer choices ever so slightly of a trick question, since one of them contains the answer to the other ones.
So with that, we'll go ahead and close the poll and show you the correct answer. This was a trick question, Naimisha, you're right, because technically it's all of the above. something to keep in mind, the Essential Workers Project, like Harish mentioned, it's not just our frontline workers, it's our first responders, it's the people that collected your garbage, it's the people that delivered stuff to you. Even though there was a pandemic going around, they didn't stop. And so it was amazing to see how our volunteers across the country thinks.
To introduce another one of our guest speakers, Mr. Stephen Dillon from the Downtown Emergency Service Center in Seattle. The DESC is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 1979 and provides integrated services, including housing, emergency shelter, crisis intervention, and healthcare to thousands of homeless and formerly homeless people every day. Stephen is the volunteer program assistant and works with other local organizations to build and maintain housing for the homeless in Seattle downtown. Here's your guest speaker, Mr. Dillon's message to our VT Seva volunteers.
Hello, VT Seva. I'm Stephen Dillon, the volunteer program assistant here at DESC, or the Downtown Emergency Service Center, and I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much for everything you do to support us, especially when it comes to the hours of time you spent volunteering here at DESC, and of course for other organizations in your community. In fact, I'm sitting in front of the poster you made for us last year during your annual Walk to End Homelessness, so we just appreciate everything you do. DESC provides so many various types of crisis and other support services to those experiencing homelessness in the Seattle and King County areas of Washington State, and we focus those efforts on those who are also the most vulnerable population, dealing with heightened mental and behavioral health needs. Our staff works 24/7, 365 days a year to provide permanent supportive housing, emergency housing, crisis response and outreach, behavioral health and health services, and more, which means that we rely on the community around us, such as yourselves, to provide resources needed to make those services possible through donations and especially volunteer time, or outlets of expression inside of our programs. You are all just essential, and we hope you know that. We appreciate everything you do for us and your community. So please know how important your involvement here at DESC and the broader community around you is, and how much we look forward to continuing our work with you in the future. Thank you so much, VT Seva.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dillon. We appreciate all the opportunities the DESC has provided to our youth volunteers. And speaking of youth volunteers, hey Harish, I know I keep pulling your leg and making you talk about stuff, but weren't we as youth volunteers trained to volunteer at places such as the DESC through the youth empowerment pillar, I believe?
Yeah, Namisha, we were. Our tomorrow depends on the youth of today, and so does the future of an organization like VT Seva, which nurtures and encourages volunteerism in the youth. It is up to us, the youth, to remain dedicated to volunteer service and take charge to help those in need. Volunteering at a young age. In 2021, we awarded 166 PVSA awards to VT Seva volunteers. Part of the VT Seva youth experience is the VT Seva's extensive summer internship program. Youth volunteers have the opportunity to travel to and volunteer at our Nether Vidyalaya schools for the visually challenged. Here, students of our MCs, Sanjana, has had a first-hand experience with this internship program. Sanjana, please tell us about your time there.
Of course. So I visited Jir Gurukulam and Nether Vidyalaya when I was a freshman in high school, and arguably to this day, even though it's been about 4 years, it was one of the most life-changing experiences that I've ever had. I was given the wondrous opportunity to not only stay and teach these already brilliant kids at these schools, but also put a face to the beneficiaries of our fundraisers and donations that we do every year with VT Seva. To this day, I am still in contact with all of the interns that I went with on this trip, and even some of the students that I taught in these schools. I'll send a message, or they'll send a message back once in a while through WhatsApp. In many ways, it really advanced my involvement with VT Seva, knowing that it was my responsibility now to give back to these kids that I visited. And in many ways, it became my second family. Back to you, Harish.
Thank you so much, Namisha. Now I'd like to hand it over to Pranuti to talk a lot about these Nether Vidyalaya and GR curriculum schools and how exactly they help their students.
Thank you, Harish, and especially Sanjana, for sharing about your internship experience. For those of you that are new to the organization and are curious about what Nether Vidyalaya is, let me give you some background. So Netra Vidyalaya is a school and degree college for the visually challenged in India that educates over 2,500 students so far. And although these students, Netra Vidyalaya is one of the first institutions in the world to provide these kids the opportunity to take their exams by themselves on Braille laptops instead of using a scribe to assist them. The school educates students holistically with academics, sports, arts, and cultural events. It does it all and has been voted one of the best schools for the visually challenged by the National Association for the Blind. Our alumni from Netra Vidyalaya have been trailblazers by joining government jobs, US-based jobs, and winning many national competitions and more. Definitely check out the website to learn more about the accomplishments of these talented kids at vtsworld.org. And then we also have our 3 tribal schools for the underprivileged that are called Jir Gurukulas. These schools are located in rural, often agriculture or farming-based communities where most kids don't get an education beyond like 5th grade, which is insane to think about. So giving them an opportunity to also pursue their dreams and realize a world beyond their small little village is something that you guys as volunteers and VT Seva has empowered them to do. These schools have benefited over 15,000 families by providing almost 1,000 children a chance to educate themselves. And your volunteer efforts have allowed—
Well, of course, Pranati, every single word you said, I wanted to get more involved and learn about how to make my own efforts to benefit the students. And guess what, guys? We have positively touched 15,000 plus families of visually challenged and tribal students through Nitya Vidyalaya and Jira curriculums and 1.2 million people by raising awareness about cancer and conducting 1,200 plus healthcare camps. And you may be curious how we're able to support all of these efforts. With generous contributions from you guys, our supporters, and several volunteers of all ages across the USA conduct annual fun events and walkathons, bake sales, plant sales, and etc. We would love to begin with a huge thank you to all of these branches and our amazing volunteers who made a success of our annual events. The list is long, so hold on. Utsa from Seattle, Alok from Houston, Tarangini from Dallas, Mamata from North Jersey, Vasantham from New Jersey, Ross from Detroit, Daya from Nashville, Raga from Bay Area, Prerna from Charlotte, Deja from Minneapolis, Subhada from Virginia, Bloom from Boston, Vasudha from Austin, Sadaya from Cary, and Subha from Atlanta. Once again, huge thank you to all of our branches for conducting beautiful events. Karen Uncle, I saw your message, but I don't think I can make it like a wrap. And before we wrap up our event, I'd like to invite one of our National Youth Directors, Ms. Vanita Gopalan, to share a few words.
Thank you, Rohita. Wow, look at that. Look at all those amazing events that you guys did, as VT Seva. I'm getting goosebumps, guys, as I see all this, keep coming, all the service pillars that we're all done together. And I think that's definitely the spirit of volunteerism here in VT Seva is right. It's truly amazing and it's #limitless. So kudos to you all. And I would say like the best way to find yourself, is to lose yourself in the service of others, as said by Mahatma Gandhi. Now, our volunteers have always provided these services with unconditional, selfless, and sincere dedication. And volunteers, they've always stepped up with enthusiasm and zeal in accomplishing this wonderful task and all these initiatives throughout in 2021. Now, today we are here is the day of our youth. We are celebrating their spirit, their compassion, their leadership, their #limitless energy. They are our energy and they are future leaders as well. And so we always need to encourage them and keep giving these plenty of opportunities to them, for them to become this next compassionate leaders of the world. As Kiranji mentioned before, you got to take this torch of empathy. I think we should always and continue words and wonderful contribution. And I take this opportunity to thank our amazing youth volunteers here. Look at these people, how gracefully and how energetically they're talking about all the accomplishments they did in 2021, starting from Pranati. We have Shreyas, we have Anushka, we have Harish, Naimisha, Rohita, Sanjana and Vaishnavi, look at their awesome efforts and their time and the efforts that they've put in to bring hashtag limitless to you all. So kudos to you all, and thank you so much again, sincerely from bottom of my heart. And I want to leave you all with a note here from our founder and CEO, AJ 2022, and many more years to come. And with this, I'll hand over to Anushka for the conclusion notes, guys. Thank you.
Well, as an organization, we couldn't be more proud of what we've done, and I'm sure you are too. And even though 2021 has come to an end, our success and strive to be limitless does not end. The event sadly comes to an end as well. So hey, Anushka, do you want to conclude our event for the day?
Yeah, Rohita, I just don't want this celebration to end, but sadly, it is time to conclude our event for today. But before we end, I would like to say that we all understand the past 2 years have been very tough for everyone, and our morale may be a little bit low. But what we've done together to empower so many lives is because they become your habits, watch your habits because they become your character, and watch your character because your character becomes your destiny. Let's look deep inside ourselves and go out and create not only our destiny, but be the reason for the destiny of so many undeserved around us by extending our helping hands. Let's all be epic together. On behalf of our entire team, we thank you all for tuning in and joining us and being a part of our 2021 VT Seva Volunteerism Celebration event, #Limitless. We all have truly embraced the spirit of volunteerism and perseverance during an extremely difficult year. So thank you for your dedication. And with that, we conclude the program and now look forward to so many such events and maybe in person next time.
That's a wrap, folks. Stay safe and stay limitless. And on behalf of our entire team, come on, guys. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You know what I'll do? I'll play some fanfare. Let's do that. We can't hear our audience, so let's hear some applause.
Recording stopped.
Amazing, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Such a great job, everybody. Proud of you guys. Everyone, hats off to you all. I think it was a great event.
Yeah, second that. Great job, everyone.
Great job.
It was perfect. Yep. And continue doing all the great work you have been doing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Nemisha. Thank you, Pranati. Thank you, Shreyas. Thank you, Rohita. Please take care of your health. That's much important now. You got to take care of
Please take care.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't do your rap, but I really wish I could.
No, one of you should try that. It's going to be super cool.
Next time, definitely. We need to have more of such names to create a rap song.
So Karen Uncle created a rap.
You guys did amazing. Love the energy, guys. Awesome.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent execution, flow, the energy, amazing, guys. I really wish I had the talent of what you guys have over here. Amazing, guys.
Great job, guys. Be proud of yourself. Give a pat to yourself. Come on, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for all our amazing youth volunteers who are both a part of this event and also who are joining us from around the chapter. There's so many of you that have been limitless in every way. And to end off, I'd like to resume our promo video one more time.
Please do. People are still joining.
Thank you, everyone, and I can't wait to see.
So, Manitaji, let's get started.